confident play coming in, but of course changes as we move into this pick and ban. It is Misfits now on the blue side, Fnatic on the red, so Misfits get the luxury of their first 3 bans.
I don't think they are going to ban this Kha'Zix really early. They just stick with the conventional approach to ban out the stronger supports to then get the Kha'Zix first, because it's simply impossible for Fnatic to do anything unless they lost ban Kha'Zix and give over LeBlanc. That is the only way out, and then may actually end up being a better play in this metagame sometimes.
We saw G2 give Power Reaver LeBlanc, question him, say, hey, I think your champion's pool small, I don't think you'll be comfortable there. Did not work whatsoever. Power Reaver so far ahead in the early game. Fnatic aren't going to take the risk, but this, as you said, means that Kha'Zix is up and available. Misfits not even going to take it.
Varus over Kha'Zix and Jace. Wow, that's quite a surprise here. Need to see if it fits a purpose, or if Misfits have just been playing this poke comp all week and they're like, you know what, I don't care what you pick. Pick the Kha'Zix. I don't care. It's going to be Ivern, Varus, Corki, and then Jace in the top lane.
Interesting to see. Maybe Fnatic pick up the Ivern here just to deny that, but giving over the Kha'Zix to Kakao, it feels so bad. Yet at the same time, Misfits getting this, you know, getting the Varus here for Hansama. He looked so good last time around, but Reckless says, let's do the matchup one more time. Yeah,
this is their standard reaction. Again, we explained in the last draft. You don't want to get squeezed on your AD carries in phase 2 of the ban phase, so you just have to match AD carry here. Because Fnatic really still want to play around their bot lane. That's how they win games, by having a pressure bot lane, or at least having a gankable bot lane. And it seems like Fnatic think they didn't lose in draft. They maybe just lost in gameplay.
Maybe hoping that we'll see the same draft one more time, but Misfits do have the potential to mix it up. They can't just grab the Kha'Zix.
Yeah, this is where I double check picks and bans and make sure I didn't miss a Kha'Zix ban anywhere, because this champion seems so strong, and it looks like we're getting a repeat.
Rinse and repeat overall. They have banned the Shen this time, so that will be different. It will force Fnatic to change at least one thing, but Kakao's just going to pick up the Ivern one more time, says, I don't need to be the center of attention.
Ivern Jace then? Or do you go Ivern Corki here?
I mean, it'll be the exact same setup for first round of picks if they go for the Jace. Is there something the Power wants? The Syndra that he's been so comfortable on in the past is up and available, but may have to be careful. Corki also on the line.
Yeah, Corki would fit that Pokemon very well, so it seems that is the foundation, and they're looking for maybe just a more comfortable top lane pick later on. They might have options into the Jace in case Fnatic attempt to steal it. And again, that funnels, if Fnatic end up playing the Jace, it forces them to play a different style than they're used to. That wasn't successful rather. And if not, they have to ban out the Jace in phase 2, which leaves one of Ignar's champions open. Because usually teams attack Ignar in phase 2 of the ban phase.
And that's already going to be the case. Fnatic pick up a support of their own, and they start to ban the pool out immediately. Malzahar, Zyra already taken off the board by Misfits. Thresh to follow.
Probably Tahm Kench next then.
Yeah. Could just shut down the mobility. Maybe
or
a
the
Bard.
Jace. That's what's kind of going through their head right now. And Misfits, let's see, what role can they... They can squeeze mid. So yes, the Rise goes out, power pick right there. I think they're just going to generate a good matchup for PoE on the Corki, a push pressure matchup for him, so they'll be squeezing that lane. And Fnatic, yeah, they're fine with Tahm Kench, they're not fine with Thresh, and they're definitely not fine with the Jace.
Don't want to see it again. Such a powerful laner, especially with the Shen taken off the board. It can be very hard to mitigate a lot of the early pressure there. But maybe Syndra coming out next. We've seen Caps most successful on the Rise and the Syndra so far.
Ooh, the classic pick here in this kind of composition back in the day would have been a Rumble top. So if Soaz goes Maokai, then maybe just Misfits is fine playing Rumble top lane. But then you actually have a dirty, disgusting poke comp as well.
We've seen the engage potential. We saw kind of the Jhin Rumble with the long-range engage, but a lot of potential there. Forgot about that champion.
It's a good matchup into Corki. I mean, she was open in a lot of games, and she doesn't win that many games, so like the wow factor for Katarina is kind of gone. But it is a good matchup into Corki, and you save your counter pick for top. That's really important with this draft.
I respect that you think the wow factor is gone, but it's still.
But she bounces around.
But she bounces so much
with daggers.
There's so many buttons. She pushes so many buttons, Crepo. It's so cool.
See, that's impressive. That's why, like, this is one of the champions where you kind of have to start smart casting. You can no longer get live by the excuse that you
Mr. Resident non-smart caster. I'm still stunned every time I like look at you play a game of League of Legends that you do not smart cast.
Old habits die hard.
It's absolutely fair, but Misfits not going to opt for the Rumble here, kind of as you predicted. Instead, opting for a Maokai of their own, forcing Soaz into a less than ideal matchup. And here's one of the big supports we talked about, Ignar, the massive playmaker, and who better to do it with than Bard?
I mean, if you're not going to catch the Katarina with a Rumble, and you're probably just going to be another reset target. I like Maokai into Cat and low mobility damage comps here. Definitely a big fan. Especially Bard too. Like, you can shut down half the fight and then have an exhaust plus potentially some CC on the Katarina. So I like this Misfits draft. It's a really good 4-1 poke comp. It only dies to really good 1-3-1. in terms of compositional counters, and that's not really what Fnatic drafted. Both of these teams are playing... I mean, I guess Katarina on the sideline is 1-3-1 in essence, but I think they should be able to thwart the pressure.
And we've seen the Jhin Katarina before. Jhin kind of setting up the kills, doing the early damage. Katarina playing cleanup. Double exhaust now on the side of Misfits, the standard, the hallmark versus the Katarina pick.
And it's another game on Caps. If Caps gets the lead, what's going to happen is Soaz will match against Alfari in one lane. That'll be neutralized. Caps on Katarina. If he snowballs, Katarina can 1v1 anything of these champions. So like either Varus or PoE, most likely PoE will have to play on a side lane. If Caps gets the advantage, he will control that matchup. And he will actually 1v1 it. And then Misfits will fall behind if Fnatic have mastered 1-3-1. But they didn't last game, so this is very interesting. It's similar strategies again. Misfits poke 4-1 versus Fnatic 1-3-1 mid game.
And once again, we heard it last week. Fnatic felt like they were playing too fast in their first game, that they weren't communicating well enough. That's why they fell down to Giants. We'll have to see if the communication improves here for them in game 2, because I mean, this is it.
Yeah,
it's best of 3. They lose a game here. They drop to Misfits. Misfits advance to the clear #2 team in the group as they you know, begin to close out their round robin. And you can see Misfits hashtag MSF win if you're voting, at LO Esports on Twitter, hashtag FNC win if you believe in Caps here and the Katarina.
It's definitely possible. We saw the analysts talk about how well Ivern really sets up these carries in the late game, and Corki Varus, nice mix of damage, nice spike in mid game, but also decent late game these days. So Misfits could definitely win this based on draft.
Impressive to see. Will Misfits find the early advantage? They've proven already in this series that they don't need it to find a win, but they've proven more times than that if they get it, they will win out in the end. Fnatic putting everything on Caps, and brave, honestly, to put so much pressure on the rookie, but he's never seemed to be faltered, and we've heard him talk about it. The team, they're there for me, they calm me down, they keep me focused, and he's going to need to be focused on this Katarina because I mean, Jin's going to sit in the back line. It's going to be him in the middle of those team fights.
Yeah, it's a good setup. Katarina and Jhin works well together because you can follow up on Dagger Poke with Jhin Snare, and then Katarina can Unleash. Karma Shields work well to speed up people. Amazing making picks. It's all like Fnatic is looking for picks, keeping the map open again. They don't want to get locked under these turrets or at these objectives because they don't have really good wave clear. Like, they have terrible wave clear in the comp. They have like the Exodia wave clear. By all powers combined, they can clear one wave if everybody hits it once.
Look, man, Karma clears waves at level 1 really good. Past that,
they have the range creeps, maybe. Well, let's see where these junglers start. Kakao, is he going to do his red trick again? He did it last game. When you launch Xerxes, who's an Ivern kind of the Ivern expert. I
would say our resident Ivern expert here for
Resident Ivern expert in Europe. He always starts on blue for 2 enchantments.
We both love Bard so much, Cripple. We just like pause. We're like, let him play.
Let him play.
Be respectful.
Master at work. This is a really rough lane, though, I think, for Hansama and Ignar. It's pretty hard to win the push versus Karma, because she can just Q the wave if she wants to. Especially if you walk into it. No!
That's a lot of early damage.
Yup, just Q the wave. Bot lane is not about trading on champions. It's really just by hitting the wave for a while and then just hitting champions once you have the advantage. Once you're heading creeps, you can hit the champions. And that's what they did right here.
Well, Reckless was definitely ahead in creeps, and now he's definitely ahead in health. This bot lane already in control of Fnatic.
They forced the overpush, so that is the saving grace here. This lane is so good that they could have taken it slower and punished way harder. At least Hansama can farm in a turret and get maybe all CS, 5 out of 6 CS. I think he's happy with.
Creep set up well.
And now the lane is kind of parked close enough to turret that you don't get absolutely demolished. Because Bard doesn't get anything on level 2, he gets health relics. That's it. It's going to be a lot harder.
It's frustrating, of course, for the Bard. Bard level 1 always feels so strong, but compared to the Karma level 1, doesn't quite match up.
This guy has an ulti level 1. He's cheating.
The woes of your own experience is clearly carrying through a little bit here, but we can see already.
About.
Amazing clearing out. Moving in, I mean, once again, I think we kind of expect Amazing to be the big early force here for Fnatic. We did not see it in the last game quite so much, and I feel like there's a lot of pressure on him to perform after what we can really safely call a pretty bad game.
Yeah, rough game. We don't know if it's all his fault. Could also be communication breakdown. Like, if you're building a snowball build and then you win, you look great. If you're building a snowball build and your vision shuts down because the synergy support jungle isn't there, then obviously you don't look as great. He did some quick 3-camp into river control. There's 2 wards slightly deeper than usual. Look at the triple vision setup Fnatic have on bot side. They're gank-proof against Ivern, and Poppy is safely farming on the turret. So everybody's technically safe unless Ivern ganks from left side mid. That's the only thing he can do.
Right now, reasonably comfortable. Can't imagine we'll see a dive on the Poppy quite yet, but Kakao moves onto the top side, knowing he has pressure advantage, looks to take this camp away, has the smite, and of course, that's really the luxury of the Ivern pick. When smite's up, you can take anything and everything you want.
But only once, otherwise you have to wait, and you can't counter jungle by walking in, enchanting the camp, walking back, and then going back in. That doesn't really work.
You have to be a pretty negligent jungler on the enemy side to get away with that, but Cap's now moving forward. Ivern is there. Just a little bit of poke here.
Pretty obvious that he's leaning so far to the left that the jungle's going to be there. Amazing just looking for camps. He probably knows his Krugs are gone at this point. Does he find the vision plant? He's pinging something. Yeah, he found a vision plant, which means he finds the ward in the jungle. He elects not to kill it. It's interesting.
And now pulling back, we'll be able to pick up his first round of items. Kakao's already had one back himself. Opts for boots. A little bit more clear. Aether was coming in for amazing. A little bit more movement speed, a little bit more damage. Once again, pressure on him to find advantages in the early lanes.
Yeah.
Cannot let Misfits get comfortably to that level 6 area.
And no longsword start here for Reckless. So he wants to base on Serrated Dirk. I think he should have the money right now. Sitting on 1,000 right now. So not quite yet.
Ever closer. Amazing moving in over the cover fog of war. Try to find an angle into the top lane. Alfari really comfortable in the matchup, small level advantage.
Ooh, he's looking for the blast compound. Here we go. Portal over the wall, I think, from Ignar as well.
We'll wait for root collar. Stun not going to connect.
Yeah, Karma speed up is so good if your enemy botman's playing passive Rada. Here's the reaction from Amazing.
Oh, Alfari moves forward. Nice W out. Flashes around the Poppy. That was really smart, but it's not enough. First blood drops for Amazing.
Yeah, that looked really bad for a second when the Cocoon missed, but obviously 2v1. Alfari a bit too far up.
Yeah, definitely not where you wanted to be, and this is the early advantage we talked about Amazing needing. He already found a kill, he's gotten Poppy ahead, and that's a good start.
And more importantly, when your jungler is doing a blast cone gank on the bottom side, which means he has walked through his own jungle and is partly into the enemy jungle, and he hasn't seen the enemy jungler, you can almost guarantee he's on your side of the map, so you should play much more passive. And this is something that you learn later on while you play a lot more scrims and a lot more matches on stage, that this is generally a pattern you can expect to have happening, so Alfari probably should have backed off a little bit more.
Maybe just overzealous to continue winning, because he was winning trades, he was coming out on top in those small skirmishes on the top side of the map, but you know, now giving up that kill over to Amazing is going to be devastating for the team, and Poppy getting the assist as well, not where they wanted to be.
But what this gank did is give the control over to Ignar and Hansama, and they can actually get a favorable base if they can get Serrated Dirk plus tier. That is the timing. If you can base exactly on that money, you can limit the income of your opponent as best as you can, so you get maximum value out of the tier, and you kind of match it versus a longsword and boots, and you get more poke spam because of it.
About 400 gold away from that, or actually less than that, as he has the longsword already. So
yeah, that's the whole thing in the longsword start. You don't start Dorns, you start longsword so you can get that really easy buy. Usually on 25 CS, I think is where you go for the Dirk. With a tier in, I haven't done the math on that, but he should be able to
another 700 gold. Should actually, as you said, be able to purchase both. Trading continues on the top side. Meh. Top lane continues.
As per usual, let's see. What are Kakao and Amazing up to? Because they definitely just define how this game is going to play out.
Caps as well as moving forward. Plant does spot Kakao, it looks like briefly. Amazing, they know he's on the red buff here. Ivern can comfortably move up. He has level 6, he has the Daisy.
Soaz is really respecting these ganks.
Oh.
As he throws his ulti out.
All comes out. Definitely not respecting the ganks anymore.
Soaz is really
too greedy.
Not respecting these ganks.
Yeah, definitely going to go down here. Unfortunate, but a nice clean execution. And Soaz, if he just kept the Keeper's Verdict, he would have been fine, but...
That's the blow. You're a jungler, you're like, I got red buff, he's pushing, okay, I'll be there in 10 seconds. And then you're here, an ally has been slain. Yeah. Feels bad, man.
Saw some of those stats on your screen. Amazing. A really rough game last time around. This time, a little better of an early start, but unfortunately, Kakao knows he had the safety to gank the top lane. Soaz had the illusion of safety, because Amazing was at red, but just over-eager.
And while the game is even, as it was somewhat last game, the difference here is that all the turrets are up, and that's actually really good for a poke comp, because they just want to get one good rotation off, one good engage. Kakao ganking bot, chunk the enemy bot lane, get the turret, and then instantly move mid on this low wave clear Katarina. Misfits, if they ever snowball and make a single pick, they can get so many structures and objectives off it.
And they have the tools now to set those picks up with Ignar at level 6, Hans Sama getting closer.
He's playing Summoner's Drift right now, catching all those beautiful little meeps.
Cleared out, of course, the control ward in the mid lane for Caps as well, so not quite as much comfort, no real angle for Amazing to get into that mid lane to try to shut down Power of Evil here in the early game. And, you know, Power playing with a lot of respect already. You can see early Hex Drinker. Did not see that in the Zed game, of course, terrible item against Zed, but just immediately going for Triforce.
Did not build Hex Drinker versus Zed. What an amateur. That's
how dare
you
he not respect it.
BM, which is very important. But yeah, he's not going for the raw damage build here. He's just really preventing the all-in, which is what you have to do again in this matchup.
I appreciate you backing me up. I was like, yeah, I didn't build Hex Drinker. Yeah, I was just definitely wrong, but Krepo's the homie and follows me into the abyss there.
But it is the right build. It does really impact his 3-item spike, which was so crucial last game. Ooh, Caps.
Oh, red buff taking down, exhaust.
There's nowhere to go.
Safety.
No minions.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Ooh.
That's greedy.
Nice of him to hand deliver his body to Corki in the end.
I volunteer as tribute, but it wasn't enough. And this Corki again, double buffs. So the second rotation here, Kakao just gives them over every time. And it's so annoying to play against, and I think that's why Ivern may actually see a rise with strong mid laners that can utilize both buffs here. And look at the rotation. Push into top, and they're setting up for third pressure or just a dive.
Daisy is relentless. Poppy just going to use the speed up to make it out to safety. And now Misfits are in complete control of the top side, but pings are coming out on the bottom side for Fnatic.
Yeah, they have to cross map. Soaz may actually just want to teleport. Try and use his ulti to knock them away maybe, but he could technically die bot lane because bot lane has already yielded. Look what Ignor is doing. He knows he's losing his bot, hoping that Hansama can catch the tier 1 wave or tier 2 wave bot, but Ignor's kind of lost here. He doesn't know exactly where to go.
This is absolutely devastating. Fnatic late on the draw means they're not going to get the tower first bonus. Cap's still in the mid lane, and Ignor is nearby.
He's pathing bot lane, and Misfits actually pinged out a ward in the enemy jungle that they might actually want to use for teleport with Alfari. You have to see if that happens.
You saw for a moment there, Power People contemplating going bot, has the package, is ready to start the fight. They decide to pull back though. No need to take the risk.
They can just group up again, because now they have top lane push, which means Alfari can peel off to mid lane if he wants to. Could actually set up for a poke on Caps and then a dive bot, for example. That is a play they could make. They could also just teleport in the bot lane, go for dive. It's just imperative that Hansama pushes up that bot wave router ASAP.
Jhin will be back there soon. They may have wave priority, they may be able to move, but Jhin will be there to pick up the CS.
Ooh, very tense moment for Reckless here. Non-Gapco's AD carry. Has to be careful. But Hansama looks like he just wants to base. He's probably sitting on quite a bit of gold.
And of course, Bard there to potentially lock him up. The Varus there as well, but they saw the Ivern, they saw the Corki clearing out the vision, so relatively comfortable, and of course with Jess's snares now, he knows he's safe.
Let's see, now it's about vision control. Just making a pathway that has no enemy wards in it is really valuable if you're Power of Evil, because then you can disappear into Fog of War. You can push up the mid lane, disappear, and put pressure. And then the lane where you're going to always has to back off, regardless of how deep you are in the river.
And right now he has a path on the top side of the map from when he took that tier 1 tower. Needs to make one potentially to the bottom to rinse and repeat to do the same thing. But Caps maybe caught out here. Minion wave not positioned in his favor. Snaps back into Power of Evil looking for the 1v1. Moves forward, locked up. Amazing tries to grab the stun. Caps tries to make it to safety. Exhaust goes down. Rocket comes in. Power of Evil kills traded back and forth. Amazing now in trouble, getting slowly whittled down. Daisy comes in to dunk him out, and Misfits come out on top.
Yeah, the difference in this equation was that Ignor was there, so it was a 3v2. The 2v2 kind of was won by Fnatic, but Ignor just completely influences that play, finishes off Caps, and then obviously cleanly finishing off Amazing right after, and Jesus was still with Reckless here. So they're not accounting for these Ignor roams, and Hansama is doing so well, just kind of being a passive farm AD carry. Look at a little close to the dagger from PoE, because they think that they're 2v1. Really nice flash from Amazing. Really nice follow-up, honestly. You can't play it any better. But then still the little tag onto the Katarina, and at this point, like, if the support's here and you've already set this play in motion, there's not much you can do. So Misfits, they're doing a great job of freeing up Ignor, and this is what he did a lot in Challenger as well. And people always said, yeah, he can't do that in LCS. He can't go Proto Belt Alistar in the LCS. Turns out he can't, but he can still roam.
And I think the thing that we're seeing too is the whole team has sort of leveled up across the board to allow this to happen, knowing when to push waves, knowing when to back up. Hansama on the bottom lane when they fought for that tower. We've seen so many AD carries stay there and die for that tower.
I mean, he's just, he moves away for one. He bases, he manages to kind of hold Reckless and Jez is close enough so that they stay, but not far enough away that they just leave the lane and roam and go for ulti picks in mid lane. And more importantly, we see a shift on Kakao as well for full utility. Kakao, one of the kind of most prestigious junglers ever right now, is just playing support on Ivern.
And consistently too, we saw the Rek'Sai, a more supportive style coming out from him as well. Now this, I mean, we've seen the old Cacao, quote unquote, on that Kha'Zix, leaping in fearlessly, trying to make.
I miss the old Cacao.
He was set on his goals.
Cacao, straight from the go, Cacao. But I like the new Cacao.
Yeah.
Plays Iron Cacao. Doesn't really flow that well. Never mind.
Support number 2 Cacao.
Exactly.
I just want to keep going, but we're gonna.
No, we're done. We're done here.
Cacao moving in. He's controlled so many of the buffs across the map. He's taken the red buff away from Fnatic. He's gifting red buffs over and over again onto Power of Evil, and it makes it that much harder for Caps to really survive. Does have the Gunblade now, has been nerfed on this patch. Not as strong as it once was, but maybe a turnaround point.
And look at the lane assignments too. Like they currently have Katarina matching Maokai. It doesn't really work out that well. So this is Misfits being happy. Look at it. They invade jungle and support together. I love seeing it. It's so beautiful. Ward, double deport. Look at how comfortable Ignore is going so far in the jungle. Fnatic have to consider a Constellation Rift Herald while they're losing their bot lane turret because their lanes are mismatched. Poppy needs to go with Maokai, and Katarina should be finding it. And look at it. They're just invading. They're setting another blue steal up as well.
He's going to have all 4 buffs. Yeah. Ignore still gets him into the wall. Excellent Cosmic Binding moving forward. Daisy's coming over. Trigger Seed's up. So as... Oh, he's going to be triggered after this one. Moving in. Going to get taken out. Stun into the wall. It's just so clean coming in from Misfits. No one going to drop it. Meanwhile, Fnatic are in mid.
But look at Hans. He's staying outside of ulti range for Jhin and the Cocoon because he can easily drop here if he eats a single spell. Because Karma Q into Jhin W into Jhin R is dead. It's a bit of a greedy TP from Alphari to commit that deep because Fnatic actually get 2 turrets for this play and there's only a single one and the mid-way has been taken, so I think this is a bit of a mistake from Misfits. But the setup was really beautiful. I think they just pulled the trigger too hard. They didn't need Alphari to go down the bot lane.
While we can praise them for executing a beautiful tower dive, in the end it does count against them. Fnatic now with 3 turrets to 2, moving forward. Misfits want to do something, but they don't have a wave to back them up.
They can neutralize it if they get the mid lane turret here. And that's what they need to look for, but they're backing off because the vision kind of has faded. They really need Ignore to base. They get some poke on this tier 2, but Soaz can hold. So I think this is a win for Fnatic.
Overall, exactly what they want. The consolation prize for Misfits will be the Cloud Drake.
Yeah, especially because it could have been so much worse for Fnatic, right? That's what you need to look at. Not just at the outcome, but at the potential outcome. The range of situation where it was really bad to okay for Fnatic, they ended up okay.
Exactly where they wanted to be, because there were so many potential situations where it could have been disaster if they did not respond, if they overcommitted to the bottom side and tried to force a fight.
But that's fine for Misfits, in my opinion. If you are a new team in the LCS with players that have to learn how to play together, I think those are acceptable mistakes. And they can easily spot them. It's not like it's rocket science. When you show them the replay, they'll be like, yeah, I agree. And then we're done here. So it's very easy to fix.
And still, they maintain the lead, 1.3K.
I think Fnatic knows they're there. The Grand 4 Danger Pinks came out, so they're very much so aware.
I mean, they did see this a lot in Game 1.
Yeah.
Nice little Death Bush stacked up with the Zed. This time around, it's a Katarina. Just as deadly.
Ignore is looking rather for good Tempered Fate here.
But the package is up and available for Power of Evil. I don't think they can afford to fight this. Package does go wide. Amazing's going to get caught out. Not quite burning down yet. Soaz ticking ever closer. One member locked up. Reckless dishing out damage from the backside. Curtain call goes in. Nice! Disengage coming in from Soaz.
Smacked in the head. Ignore trying to be a support assassin here.
He wants to kill so bad. If only he had Proto Belt, Crepo.
If only he had Proto Belt, he would flash, smash, all from the hip. Bard really smashes from the hip right there.
Not enough this time around.
Top lane is pushing, so as his bot with teleport, so there's minion pressure. If they can actually match Alphari bot, there could be a 4-1 rotation, or like a rotation to the top side here.
Moving forward. Daisy's taking a bit of damage. Not going to be able to auto-attack anything, really hesitating for a moment there.
I want to see poke Siege here on the mid, and then magical journey to top side. That would be actually a really nice play. But actually, Soaz is reacting with teleport behind them.
Oh, no ult for him, but they have to respect the Katarina engage potential. Soaz now pulling back. Misfits respecting the TP and backing off. Amazing's on the backside, but he's all alone. They're just going to engage on Amazing.
Really good play here.
Power of Evil going in, flashing forward actually. Looks like he is set to get the kill. Ignore now caught out. That's the first one for Caps. The reset.
1 for 1.
Trading back and forth. Separate 1v1s on each side.
Yeah, definitely so. Siege here again. Look at Cacao. Look at the root.
Waiting for it. CC could potentially come in. Deadly Flourish. Multiple targets damaged. Han Sama waiting on the ult. Has the flash. Misfits set to take this tower. Reckless is backing off. It looks like they will be able to take it, but there's no minion wave here.
Yeah, this is they see Katarina top, so they have all the liberty. Fnatic is essentially yielding, and this was his top wave that we were talking about earlier. It just had so much pressure. Eventually, it would force something, and this trade, so good. Amazing constant playing on the outskirts here, but again, Red Smite, Runic into Haunting Guys. For Amazing, he's playing super pen-based.
No, now Soaz is getting caught as well. He overstays his welcome.
Look at the face. Fnatic, they seem to be coming apart. Now Caps is back. He didn't even fully push out top wave. He only neutralized it.
This feels bad. I mean, Fnatic, we'll take a look at this, but this is kind of where it just went so wrong.
Look at the control for Misfits. That portal, they don't take it. They notice it's just, it might actually be bad to take a portal into an Elise. They know they're actually not getting punished. It feels so bad when Poppy's teleporting behind you, but yeah, the important members taking a cocoon. Yes, Ignar may be out of position here. He stalls, he takes the resets away from the fight. And then they get Amazing, who's playing, again, very squishy assassin-y, but there's good vision control. Misfits, when they group up, they're really warding their flanks well. They're communicating well in fights. And they're honestly outplaying Fnatic. And the biggest advantage that we kind of saw happen in that play is now that Alfari has teleport. And Soaz has done.
Something massive for Fnatic to play around. A situation where they have to outplay their opponents to get that advantage back. And this is so different from Fnatic we saw against Giants. After game 1, it felt like Fnatic started to turn it around in game 2. Game 3, they were clinical. They shut down Giants. It felt like they never had a chance. But this time around, it's Misfits shutting them down.
What goes up?
Must come down. Oh, amazing. Bye-bye. You can hear the Misfits chant.
The only thing you can do wrong is if he's next to a wall and you ward to see if he went over the wall, and then he jumps on the ward.
That's the LCS classic.
The LCS no, that's the Diamond 2 classic.
Oh.
Project. That was a prelude for Project VODS.
Yeah, I was. Oh my god. I'd be ready. I'd be so ready.
Riot. I will buy RP.
Look, I know we have absolutely nothing to do with the skins team, but just for this once.
Has anybody debated Project VODS? Anyways, really nice. Look at the vision here. They have a ward in the pit. They need to shoot bullets through the Baron to see what HP is in, and the magical journey comes out.
Oh, shots connecting. Gonna have the body block. Cacao more than happy to tank it up.
Yep, let's see on the map. That does mean Alfari should just go bot. Put pressure, drag Soaz away, and use your teleport advantage, although it's too late at this point.
Sama pops the Youmu's, returning to mid to clear out the waves. Doesn't want to give Fnatic the opportunity to push mid in exchange for anything else.
Good triple control setup topside, great. You go for mid push, makes me emotional. See this? Just like, I think I'm finally hitting puberty. But yeah, they're pushing out mid, which is just it's step 1 to any successful Baron play. Like you can't not push your mid lane, and it's really important to see that here.
All right,
very
Crepo.
often overlooked.
Step 1 is push mid. What do Misfits need to do next?
Let's see the wards. Ignar needs to base. Because to place vision, one needs wards.
But it's really annoying. Himself could be a ward if he just stood in a bush.
Human ward. So they buy some time, push the waves. They still have teleport on bot lane. Caps is neutralizing top wave, but he never really pushes out. We talked about it in Champs. Like, if Caps snowballs, he could be a pushing threat. But right now, if he overextends past the river, Misfits can send 1 or 2 people to get him. And there's nothing Fnatic can do punishing him mid. Justice and Reckless are not in the game enough to do it.
The good news is, though, Soaz is about to get that teleport back, so that advantage that Misfits had will not be utilized.
Yeah.
Maybe giving an opening for Fnatic to find a better flank after the last one failed.
But the map is dark and full of terrors for Fnatic right now. They have 1 ward in Tri, 1 ward in mid lane, and that's it. They don't see anything. Look at it. Try and play a reset champion. Who's going to face check? Like Soaz, but he's bot lane. And Amazing is essentially an assassin.
They see the dragon go down.
Yeah. So they get a moment of reprise, but they still can get caught, because if that was a solo dragon, okay, maybe a duo dragon, because Iron takes a while, then still 2 people could be there to punish you.
Daisy counts as a second member, Crepo.
Yeah,
don't forget that.
Strength in numbers.
And the other thing, too, I mean, so often we're not excited to see Cloud Drakes. Maybe they would prefer a Mountain Drake here just to take the Baron that much quicker, but the Cloud will allow them to maneuver around all these wards to control the vision here.
Yeah.
And to really start these fights off. And for Ignar especially, that will be massive.
Just looking to punish. Control ward now should spot the entire Baron pit as well, so no more cheeky wards being placed over that you happen to miss that ruin your entire Baron setup.
I feel a lot of personal experience in that statement there.
Bro, Baron setups in Diamond 2? Come on. It's all air. Oh, here we go. They're starting it.
Well, bushes go down. Baron's going to find himself a nice little bush to hide in momentarily.
Yeah, nobody has wards. The only one with wards is just he has the face check. So that's Blue Trinket, but they still don't know anything. They saw it briefly.
Curtain call to try to get vision. The body block. Caps on the backside. Will we see the reset? Soaz is coming into the pit. He's over the wall. Baron is low. Will Fnatic look to contest? Ignar's backing off.
Yeah, avoid the resets. Good contest here. Fnatic get mid prio, but they're engaging onto Caps.
Oh, power of evil. He just wants the 1v1 and he gets it. Trigger C just to make it the 2v1 in the end, but Caps cleaned up.
Fnatic gets clapped right there. He should have just backed off. The Baron was reset. He was all alone versus a package Corki. This is, rookie mistake. And right now, mid prio means nothing because it's 4v5 and they can just force Nashor again. And again, instead of just blind forcing it, potentially throwing the game, go back to mid lane. You'd be surprised how many teams mess this up. It's so rudimentary.
Just let me know if you're going to get emotional again, because I feel like this is a special moment for you.
Well, it should be good.
Misfits setting their sights on the Baron once again, this time with a man advantage. Amazing, no smite quite yet, so they burn it down.
Ignar has no Tempered Fate. He has to be careful so he doesn't get one-shot. He can't actually overkill because they're turning.
Oh, in goes Alfari. Amazing's burned down. There goes the smite. Soaz gets the disengage, but for how long? Knocks Power Evil back, does not connect into the wall. Alfari sitting on the front line. He's unkillable. Double kill for Power. Could be the Baron, but Power's not done yet.
Look at the Misfits. They're respecting pink warded brushes. Their target selection is on point. They fake engage on Soaz, and then Hansama turns with the ultimate on top of Amazing, who gets one shot. Immediate foul from Alfari. Communication in this team has drastically improved.
And, I mean, look at it, too. They're not taking the bait. They see Soaz on the front line. Looking tasty, looking vulnerable. 4 members could collapse. They're not giving Katarina the opening.
So we saw this fight, but just look for fights where, or moments where it could go wrong, right? Soaz flashed out. Did he cancel the Maokai W? Because it looked like Alfari went in once and then jumped immediately to Amazing. But they keep switching targets, keep focusing right on here. So easy to overchase. Caps is alive, so they back off. And then it's so easy to start as Nashor, but then you realize you have 3 members on 40%. This could be a game throw, so they just base and they play consistent. And now on full HP, with vision, start Nashor again. And they can always stop, because nobody actually takes damage here. Except Daisy.
Spot to be. They're trying to bait it out. Soaz will get slowed up, but Jez is an amazing R over the wall. Curtain call comes in. Quick cancel. No Edge of Night to stop that out. Moving it forward. Power of Evil's now in trouble. Has a portal to get out if he wants to, but he wants to stay in the fight.
Even BM flashes.
Oh, doesn't make it over the wall, but he will make it onto Soaz. Poppy goes down. No Captain America on the buckler pickup. Dodge out on the root collar. Alfari's on the front line. Jesus is next. He goes down. Caps is still waiting in the wings.
What does Fnatic have to do? They find Power of Evil. They smash him into the wall. They cancel his Valkyrie. They follow up with a Cocoon. PoE just flashes into the wall. He may as well start playing with his feet, and he probably would still get kills because it's so hard to kill this guy with Redemption coming out, with Locket, with shields from this Ivern.
Caps. Oh, that's so much damage. Is he going to get Caps? Oh, nice turnaround. Can pick up the dagger for the reset. Amazing in trouble. Caps wants to keep the ball going. He gets another reset. Keep your eyes on Caps. Kakao doesn't want to let it happen, Alfari. They're just too tanky. Thus ends the story of Caps' triumphant return, but a good play nonetheless.
To counter to Katarina, classic point and click CC, but Bad Boy's still alive.
Still comfortable. And I think good on Caps to save his team that opportunity, but Fnatic really need to pull it together because honestly, this game has been nothing short of confidence-inspiring for Power of Evil. We saw him go aggressive and chase when he knew he had advantage. We saw him pull back this game when he knew he didn't.
Yeah, watch this again. So Soaz can always press W to cancel Portal. It's actually an underrated trick versus Bard. The cancel from Ignar onto Reckless is good. PoE, like, by all intents and purposes, should just die here, but his Redemption, heal, block it. He even underestimates the power of his team comp by panic flashing. And then Alfari, he's just 1v4ing the front line on a tank. We always call him a carry player, but turns out you can carry on tanks. And poor Jez is playing Karma, so he's dead. The main trick, though, to beat Katarinas is to never get close to daggers. And I think this is where there's over-peeling from Ignar. He's actually making his team lose Baron by trying to peel, because Katarina can't do anything in the pit. Ignar goes out, PoE goes in, places close to a dagger and dies. This is hubris, I think, and it's a good play pattern to go in as a support and buy time. It's a good play pattern as a mid laner to jump out of the pit and poke and just kind of keep people away from the pit, but it's not a good play pattern against Katarina. That is the kind of one caveat right there.
And while Power of Evil does deserve praise, he did make mistakes in that fight in particular. Blowing the flash for no reason, getting over-aggressive onto the Katarina dagger, maybe not as comfortable in that matchup.
And there's miscommunication here with Ignar saying, guys, I'm never going to fight them. I am fine. Don't help me. Because he knew he had Portal. He knew he wouldn't die to a straight dagger throw from Katarina. and he was fine just buying time. Problem was that PoE1 could help his teammate and would potentially turn it around. So slight overreach.
And it's interesting to see how Misfits have changed, because in their first couple games we thought they were a team that would not pull the trigger, that played too slow, too steady. This time, maybe a little too eager to pull the trigger in that sense. But their Baron setups have been clean, they've been consistent, and it feels like they may just go again.
Again, we can't expect perfection from this team. If you would have shown me this game and told me like this is Misfits after 3 weeks, I'll be like, okay, take it, sign it, deal, done.
A little bit of damage coming in. TP now on the back. Soaz gets the wall bang, moves forward. Kakao.
He gets stopped before he could use W.
CC coming in, but there's no follow-up for Fnatic. Katarina moving forward, ever closer, looking for the setup. Tempered Fate lands. Caps is doomed to die if he gets the perfect stun. Will get it. Katarina, nope, goes in. Will she go out? Yes, Caps makes it to safety. Good escape.
So hard to time that right, because you gotta do it frame perfect on the Bard follow-up on that stun, because otherwise she will just hop around. Really hard to do, but a good idea for Misfits. A marginal error in execution, but still, they always have safety in mind. Nobody drops low, nobody over chases. There's no way for this plan to kind of backfire.
And still advantage going over in the favor of Misfits. Alphari will have teleport soon. Soaz not so lucky. Caps has burned Flash.
Fnatic have to face check again into this lineup, and nobody drops low. All these heals and shields, look at it. They have no choice.
Soaz moving forward. Reckless is there, but he's reloading. He doesn't have any bullets left in the clip to make this one matter. Soaz in trouble. He's been here before. This is the power of Evil Chase. Alphari, a gentleman to donate the kill over in the end, has the twisted advance, holds it so his mid laner can pick it up.
And what do we do? When we're 4v5?
Do we push mid, Crepo?
Yes, we push mid. We don't rush to Baron blindly. It's not how that works, because now Fnatic is back and they have to face check even more area, more ground. And then you just hopefully kill that ward eventually. That blue ward's been there for a while. It is actually disabled, so it doesn't really matter.
Will, of course, spot out the trinket and nothing else. Baron not quite finding a home in a bush quite yet. But Igor's going in. That's an aggressive game. Caps is caught out. No flash means no life as Han Sama's on a rampage.
Ooh, I like it. They bait it, they stop it. They bait it, they stop it. And then finally, they turn around with the portal.
Just endlessly teasing Fnatic, baiting them into the play time and time again. This has been clutch. That one going wide. Daisy
zoning.
Not so content.
Get him, Daisy.
Oh no.
Now Katarina's dead.
Goes
Power
up,
can do that.
Comes down, goes out. Jez is
he the hero?
No.
No, because
unstoppable.
Enemy team, Misfits, they keep the Baron on 1.3k. They don't put it on 200 health like Spice did. What a controlled Baron.
As we watch this replay, I mean,
and what?
So smart.
Yes. This is so good. Dude, this is textbook. You put the Baron in the brush, you check your HP bar. Are we dropping fast? No. Are we at risk of getting TP'd on by Katarina? No. Then why rush it? Just deny the vision, kill the jungler. Okay, he can't get it anymore. Who else can steal? Maybe Karma with a Q. Let's wait for the flash. Kill her too. Kill everybody. Then kill the Baron. Because nobody actually takes damage.
And, I mean, we saw it from Splice, from such a veteran team of Splice, not communicating to stagger it or to burst it down, the small mistakes coming in from Trashy, but we're not seeing this from Misfits, a much younger lineup. Everyone on the team on the same page. Stop hitting the Baron. Immediate call, immediate answer. Not a single person pushes another ability or auto attack in that direction. They pick off the member and they take it clean.
Yeah. Super clean game. Such a joy to watch. Now we have to see, I think Senkooks raised a good point on the analyst desk. Is this Misfits drastically improving? Or have they found a really good comp on 7.2? Oh, Fury, that's the wrong way. Have they found a really good comp with Ivern, Varus, Corki?
No, Sama flashes to safety. Ultimate canceled there. Ignar did use the Tempered Fate to shut down the ultimate coming in from Reckless. And Alphari's just going to take the top lane tower in the meantime.
Because this comp plays out so well. From behind it plays out well, from ahead it plays out even better. Nice logic. But Power of Evil and Han Sama have really been controlling the pace of the game. Han Sama has been slowing it down where necessary. Power of Evil has been accelerating it where needed.
And honestly, these members of the team were the big question marks. We knew Alphari was a strong top laner. Power of Evil had been inconsistent. And Caps
is golden. Golden boy Caps.
Maybe overstaying his welcome. Out he goes. Out goes two members. Fnatic need to find a fight win here. They bought a bit of time, but now Soaz is just going to drop down. The max health damage from the VODS may not even be needed, as Power of Evil is the one who's going to be popping off. Misfits are crushing Fnatic.
That's it. Very clean execution here. Target selection. I'm loving the way they're approaching this Katarina with caution. And this is exactly why I didn't get that excited about this pick, because
look,
it's really hard to make work.
She bounced around. I got excited, but it wasn't enough because Misfits This is a beautiful game of League of Legends. They're moving up. Not only are they taking out Fnatic, it's going to be a 2-0 in their favor. They find advantage. They make it work. They take the series.
What an impressive Misfits we see here, defying expectations. Descent maybe 1-2, maybe 2-1. Nope, out of the window, 2-0. One game from behind, one game from ahead. Yes, similar compositions, but very impressed with their communication, target selection, and overall gameplay.
And small mistakes here and there that we could get into, but right now it just feels... I mean, it feels good to watch Misfits play. This is clean, it's collected, it's together. It's, I mean, everything we wanted to see from this squad.
And we could make a list of what Fnatic is doing wrong, but in the end, from a team as young as Misfits, this level of play is very good to see. It's very satisfying that a team can come in new with a couple of older players, but a lot of question marks, and we're getting answers.
And I mean, we've seen this before in Europe. We've seen it in G2. We saw it to a certain degree in Origin, although with a lot of veterans when they first came in. And we kind of joked about it being a thing for Misfits. And then when they faltered in the first couple of weeks, you know, making mistakes, we didn't expect to see it again. But week 3, apparently that's all it's going to take, because they are coming out so clean in these plays.
Yeah, we need to see if they can mimic it with different compositions, because it seems like Corki, Varus, Ivern seems like a really good core. Any poke combo with Ivern seems to be the core. People have really started utilizing him as a secondary utility support. And it also shows you that Ignar always has a support champion to play. This guy's getting targeted left and right, freeing up all these other picks for his teammates.
I mean, they don't even pick up support in the first pick rotation in Game 1. They let all the supports get banned out. The Bard, the Karma, pick up a Tahm Kench, and they do just fine. This game, no bans go over to support pool. Outside of the standard Zyra, the standard Malzahar, and we see him pick up the Bard, and he crushes.
Yeah. Oh, I really liked it. Fnatic never got rolling. They never got into the 1-3-1 that they want to play. They never had enough of a lead on Caps. We saw Caps was kind of lost on that side lane too. He never knew how far do I pressure? Where do I go? What do I do as a solution when Baron is started and then stopped? It's very hard for Caps to make these calls because you don't have time in that moment to ask your team, what do we do?
And crazy here, because we're seeing the team now. I mean, so often we see teams, they beat Fnatic, they jump up, they cheer, they're happy. You see their coach, stern look on their face, focus. This is what we did wrong. This is what we could do better. This is what could be improved. Always, it feels like looking forward to the next game, even in this moment of happiness.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is the best review, guys. Guys, we won. We played really well. I'm happy you did well. You did well. These are the kind of post-game reviews where you go home and you open that VOD. You skip through it. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, here's that time I outplayed that guy 1v1.
Oh, I remember
here's
that.
Here's that time I chased Soaz and Amazing down and killed 2 people.
Yeah, let's VOD review this. Did I do this right? Yes. Yeah, oh, great. I'm fantastic.
Wonderful.
The problem is when you start losing, you start skipping the VOD reviews.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I think I know what I did wrong.
I mean, it's hard to look at your own mistakes and go, oh yeah, I was bad. I played poorly.
That's why I don't like listening to my own casts. I remember it was at this moment I hit puberty.
It's never as bad as you think it's going to be, and it's never quite as good as you think it is.
Never
you come in, you're like,
good.
I was hilarious. You listen back, I was not funny at all.
Yeah, okay, no. If I'm not hilarious, Twitter usually tells me, which is quite often. But yeah, no, this was a fun game to watch, a fun game to cast, and I like it when we have a lot of just like expectations and we don't know what to expect, and there is these preconceived ratings where, okay, yeah, Fnatic, veteran team, you know, new kid on the block, really great mechanics. Oh, they definitely cannot play Sauce on a tank. Oh, it all sounds so good. And Misfits, oh, really poor late game. And then in a week, it's all turned upside down.
I like how quickly the teams develop, and I feel like part of this is the best of 3. They get more time on stage, they play more games, maybe not more games in scrims, but they get the chance to kind of experiment with the series, experiment with more compositions. And I mean, Misfits found one that works for them.
They definitely, like, the rate of improvement has to just go up year to year. And that's why some of these teams are struggling in the European LCS right now, is because they're improving and they have the infrastructure and kind of the pacing of teams maybe 2 years ago, but you gotta be quick right now. You gotta make every single day matter, and that's what makes it very hard. And that's why when people do improve fast, it is something that has to be praised.
Yeah, and I think overall it's curious to me to see how well and how quickly they developed, and really wondering as we move forward if Power V will continue to be like a big star player, if Hansam will continue to be a big star player for this team, because Ignar Kakao, no doubts, playing really well, functioning really well overall, and excited to see how they
I was
develop.
skeptical. I'm gonna be honest here.
We were all skeptical.
PoE on Origin did not look good.
Nope.
To the point where he has to be subbed out by Peke, who was maybe like, I don't know, Diamond 2 at a time, barely playing because it wasn't working. But it just shows that he's the type of player that needs an environment, you know, and trust from his teammates. And he was just going ham. He had all these shields, buffs. iron speed-ups on him, and he just kept killing people left and right with that Corki.
Yeah, and really, at the end of the day, I mean, just a solid win coming in from Misfits overall. And I mean, just waiting in the meantime, of course, to get set up for the interviews.
We can see him.
More about
like
this.
They're setting up right there behind the camera. Across.
It's pretty exciting. But for more on that Misfits win, Pyra is standing by with Power Eagle, and he will now.